Last time, Ison confronted John in order to ask him some prying questions about his past, but John just brushed him off. And guess what? John's in the house, not by choice though. Truth serum mode activated. Ison asks John about his roots. The dude's from New Boston, a trek away. First real school, Wellston. Switch? John wanted to ditch his helicopter dad and taste freedom, so Wellston it is. But the vibe here? Super not cool, man. Low tiers get the boot. High tiers treat him like leftovers. Survival strategy? Stealth mode, keep it on the down low. And why Wellston? It's a smorgasbord of brainy goodness. Oh, but it's not all study sessions. Wellston's got power, like flex your abilities power. Ison's all ears, wondering why the gamble. And where's Dad's warning? John's all squirm-tastic, collar-grabbing action like, yo, let's stick to the point. Ison's like, you're chill. Sarah's got your back. He dips, leaving John in his dust, scrolling like a detective. Ison hits up a laptop. Bingo, he finds a pic of little John in a class snap. Gotcha, the plot thickens. Blake's like, dude, libraries for silence. Pic reveal time. Blake's hooked. Why the digging? Ison's dodging, thanks to a mental memo from Arlo. Quick save, topic flip. Let's remember tasks. Library police busts in. Bye-bye convo. Intel acquired. Ison dials Arlo. John's been spinning a web of lies, even preschooling's a fib. Arlo's shockometer goes off the charts. John's ability truth? That's a question mark now. Rippy pick. Arlo's on the case. Elaine, book hunter supreme. It's a golden text from Arlo while deep in study vibes. She's all smiles. Arlo wants her to drop a note to the big boss about Sarah's book escapades. Orders received. Time for a conversation with Sarah. Cue the principal's pad. The hot seat's warm. Miss Nadia's the star interrogator. Rules set. Sarah's cool with it. Book talk? Yep, Sarah's the owner. The where'd it come from round. Invisible dude. Home sweet home. Bag surprise. Who was there? Sarah hits pause, not spilling. Principal's like, play nice. Miss Nadia adjusts, asking about the book's current status. Sarah played destruction derby with it. Sharing secrets? Nah. Book thoughts? Total nonsense, says Sarah. Miss Nadia's like, phew. Sarah's off the hook. Back in class, John's chillin', then ping! Sarah's text. Meet her ASAP. He dashes, finds Sarah and her luggage. Plot twist. Sarah's on a month-long vacation, expelled, but not before giving Miss Nadia the slip. John's fretting. Should have told Sarah the truth about the book. It's all on him. Sarah's all, chill pill, John. Goodbyes exchanged. Sarah's off the stage. Before we continue, take a moment to answer the question of the day. Who is your favorite antagonist in Manhwa? Comment down below for a chance to be shouted out. John's return to school had Arlo on the edge of his seat, peering through the window like a hawk, eagerly waiting for the news to spread. Picture this, John striding confidently outside the school building, only to have Gavin catch him off guard with a surprise shout. Recognition dawns in John's eyes as he hears Gavin's voice. Trouble's afoot, quick as lightning. John takes off, a mad dash with Gavin hot on his heels, vengeance in his eyes. But guess what? John's not about to let this chase end in defeat. He dances away from Gavin's kick like a pro, pulling off some slick martial arts maneuvers. Whoosh, Gavin sent stumbling, giving John just the opening he needs. In a clever twist, John hurls his notebook like a ninja star, throwing Gavin off his game before sprinting away to safety. A close call though, because Gavin's speedy and he's right on John's tail, making it seem like he's got this in the bag. Well, surprise. Surprise! John's got tricks up his sleeve yet. He puts those potion-inspired heels to the test, springing back into action and sending Gavin's smug grin packing. Oh, and don't forget the doctor. That cheeky doc's got a bet to celebrate, knowing John's not one to shy away from a good brawl, especially after Sarah's suspension. But hey, let's rewind a bit. John's in the infirmary, arm on the mend, and there's that enigmatic smile on the doctor's face. Turns out it's all thanks to John's knack for turning the infirmary into a potion playground. Who knew being a trouble magnet could have its perks? Hold up! Classroom showdown incoming! John's cruising through the corridor when 3 wannabe challengers step up, thinking they can take him on. John's not about to be anyone's punching bag, and with that fearless attitude, he sends them packing with a dose of reality. Enter the doctor, the ultimate peacekeeper, who gives them a stern talking to before making his exit. Now, let's switch gears. Sarah's back home, and it's not exactly a warm welcome. Her mom lays down the law, a real piece of work, even calling Sarah a potential failure. Ouch. She also gets slapped pretty hard. But enough of that negativity, because Sarah's back in her element, laptop open and chatting with none other than John. A call that's a mix of banter and affection with a sprinkle of, already missing me? Homework time rolls around, and Sarah's the real MVP, swooping in with the goods just in time. Chatting turns to teasing, games replace studying, and there's even talk of glass houses. No, not the metaphorical kind. Sarah's wisdom prevails, and it's all in good fun. Cue the next day, and Arlo's got his sights set on John. He's got that I know something's up look, but John's not spilling the beans. With Sarah's text glaring on his phone, Arlo's suspicions simmer. Looks like he's got a new mission. Keep John and Sarah apart. As if John's life wasn't already a roller coaster, some random bullies jump in for a quick beatdown. The infirmary's the next stop, and this time, John's hurting bad. Dr. Darren's there with the tough love, making John face the harsh reality that he needs to find a way out of this mess. Anger flares, plans hatch, but John's phone's got other ideas and decides to bail on him. Frustration mounts, and the two students responsible for the mess are on John's hit list. But wait, Dr. Darren's not letting him storm out this time. A stern ultimatum keeps John in check. Begrudgingly back to bed he goes, seething all the way. And just when you think it can't get any more intense, there's a hallway collision that sends John's papers flying like confetti. The crowd's roaring with laughter, but then a surprising ally emerges. Remy. She offers a hand, a gesture of kindness, and John's caught off guard, a glimpse of something he's not used to. There's a twist, though. As his reflexes kick in, he slaps Remy away, leaving Remy shocked. Soon, John realizes his mistake. John's on the ropes, barely dodging Blake's blazing lasers. But wait, Blake's not done. He asks John for a reason not to pummel him. John, owning up, spills the beans about mistaking someone for a look-alike. Remy steps in, nudging Blake to chill, and they peace out. But guess what? John's got thoughts. He's side-eyeing that so-called hero in the book. Now here's the kicker. Not everyone's got a golden ticket, especially Wellston's crew. John's back home, dialing up Sierra on his laptop. Rough day alert. Sierra, ever the champ, shifts gears to gaming, boosting John's spirits. Big smile vibes. Connecting with Sierra does wonders, and our dude's feeling brighter. Meanwhile, Sierra's turf. Her mom's back, and the maid's all ears. Sierra's gaming marathon sparks curiosity, and yep, buffering surprise. Door creaks open, and bam, mom's there. Phone now, she demands, throwing shade. Oh boy, her sister's path lurks nearby. Sierra's notched another point on the disgrace scale. Tough love. Switching gears, John's back from school, a little roughed up. Sarah's MIA on the gaming grid. That's odd. Round and round. Game over, but Sierra's still radio silent. Next day, enter Hauer. Sneak attack mode. John pulls off a move. Blood flows. Mood sour. Rooftop rendezvous with Arlo. John's got guts. No fear in the pecking order. Arlo's puzzled, but John's on his lunch game. In Sierra's realm, there's homework hell. Books drop. Parents decree. Report due. Sarah's in the pit of torture. Cue exhausted sighs. John, oh John. The thoughts orbiting Sierra's mind. A flashback. A project tag team takes a wild twist. John's tardiness brings them together. Project battles commence. Sierra's all serious about that grade. John's like, chill, I got this. Presentation time. And bam. John's version of Hamlet's from a whole other playbook. Sierra's fuming. B- territory. She pieces out. Classroom whispers follow. John swoops in like a knight in not-so-shiny armor, catching wind of the rumor mill buzzing around Sarah. Determined, he marches to the library, throwing a lifeline in the form of teamwork for their next challenge. But hold on, Sierra's not having it. Her fury erupts like a volcano, threatening to scorch poor John if he doesn't toe her line. John, undaunted, fires back with a question that slices through the tension. Why does Sarah chase the elusive crown of perfection? Sarah's response, a sizzling, mind your own business. But John's got his heels dug in. He won't play her game and isn't afraid of a shared failure. Sarah, staring at John's unwavering determination, feels like she's hit a brick wall. Fast forward to the library rendezvous. Surprise! John's already in project mode, and the chairs they now occupy might as well have a rivalry fence running between them. They tackle their task, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Sarah's critique of John's work feels like a cold shower, yet it's clear they're both paddling in the same boat of linguistic confusion. Together, they trudge on, with John's eyelids turning traitor and Sarah's persistent nudges rousing him from slumber. Hard work's done. Results roll in. Sarah's face falls at the AV, and John, ever the optimist, beams at his A. 3 days later, Sarah struts off, leaving John to celebrate his win, only to hear the echo of her name tangled in unpleasant conversation. John leaps to her defense, even taking a hit for her. Sarah, swooping in like a guardian angel, lands a knockout punch. The heckling henchwoman flees, and an unexpected apology is hurled her way. John's gratitude flows like a river, and Sarah's reputation swells a notch. Cue presentation day. The silence between them as thick as peanut butter. John's nerves ripple like a drum roll, and Sarah can't resist a playful poke. They tag team the presentation, and lo and behold, Sarah bags an A+. Hold the phone. John's got an A in his back pocket too. A celebratory dance? Not so fast, because Sarah's holding onto that looming A grade like a lifebuoy. John insists on revelry. Joyous tussle of perspectives. They trade their library haven for the bustling Wabba-Boba. Sarah's heart swells, embracing the freedom to celebrate and bask in the moment. But oh dear, the spell breaks with the morning sun and a wake-up call from reality. In the present day, the ever-diligent maid delivers a dose of duty, revealing an impending interview for Sarah's arranged internship. Sarah's time clock is ticking faster than a hummingbird's wings. She dives back into work, and John, in a cathartic burst, pummels a punch bag. Amid the chaos, Sarah shines like a north star in John's sky of uncertainty. He unexpectedly finds serenity, tears welling up in his eyes. The laptop screen reveals Sarah's absence, a whole week having passed since their last conversation. Curiosity and concern stir within John, urging him to ponder her whereabouts and his next steps. Seeking guidance, he dials his father, who inquires about his phone. John explains its unfortunate tumble down a flight of stairs, prompting his father's promise of financial aid for a replacement. The purpose of the call unfolds as John requests another Unordinary copy, met with a regretful denial that ignites his frustration, causing him to end the call abruptly and shut his laptop with a sigh. The following day, Isen's observant gaze lands upon John, unveiling a transformation, Arlo's plan gradually taking shape. John's authentic colors begin to emerge, catching Isen's discerning eye. Meanwhile, Professor Keen engages in a serious discussion with the headmaster within his office, the television broadcasting the grim news of yet another superhero's demise at Ember's hands. Contemplating the perplexing motives behind the ongoing murders, Keen offers his insights, suggesting a cryptic message meant to thwart vigilante resistance. The conversation takes a somber turn as the headmaster reveals the recent murder of Rel, the previous king before Arlo, a shocking connection to the elusive Unordinary. Deep in thought, Keen contemplates the enigmatic power Ember possesses, prompting the headmaster to take proactive measures within the school. A new responsibility emerges as Keen is entrusted with security, a pivotal role ensuring vigilance within the institution's confines. Meanwhile, through a window pane, Isen witnesses a distressing scene of students taunting John. A brave command from John quells their advances, but a physical confrontation ensues as one student attacks him. John's swift reaction results in a broken arm, inciting a group onslaught against him. Amidst the chaos, a flicker of determination blazes in John's eyes. A distant memory resurfaces. A girl, Claire, kneels before him, her name escaping his lips. John's curiosity flares as he questions her role in turning their peers against him. Claire's steadfast reply lands like a thunderclap, painting John as self-centered and destructive. She claims he doesn't deserve his strength, branding him a monster. Shock courses through John. Anger simmers within him, erupting into violence as he lashes out at Claire. The memory wanes, reality flooding back. Now calm, John faces a sudden attack from Elena. His reflexes kick in, a punch meeting her stomach mid-air. Simultaneously, Ruker's beams assail him. John's mind races, devising an escape plan, only to be blindsided by Wenky's ambush. Tanner exploits the opening, sending John crashing to the ground. Elena seizes her chance for revenge, inflicting painful blows. Tensions peak. Yet, as Elena's fist nears, a protective shield materializes around John, her arm left injured. Shockwaves ripple through the scene. On the horizon, Arlo emerges, striding towards the turmoil. Surprise tinges John's expression as he beholds Arlo's unexpected presence. Tanner faces consequences, ensnared in a barrier by Arlo. Conversation ensues, Arlo demanding respect while shrinking the barrier. Stepping closer, Arlo aids John to his feet, guiding him away from the fracas. Puzzled, Arlo queries why John refrained from fighting back despite possessing the power. Together they retreat to the infirmary, Arlo sitting vigil by John's bedside, immersed in a newspaper authored by Isen, impressed by his work. Meanwhile, John's subconscious twists into a nightmare. Clouds rumble ominously as Adrian's voice pierces the air. John's patience frays, Adrian's words pointing toward Claire's manipulation. Adrian's plea to see the truth falls on deaf ears as John's fists rain down, his anger finding an outlet. Amidst the chaos, memories of Claire and the violence haunt him, jolting John awake. Engulfed by the aftermath of his actions, John sits, grappling with the repercussions of his choices. He spots Arlo by his side, engrossed in a newspaper. Swiftly, he throws a punch at Arlo, a burning question on his lips. Why did Arlo aid John? The motive behind saving John's life becomes his focus. Arlo's retort is candid, a reminder that the world doesn't revolve around John's perceptions, a wake-up call to ponder his actions. Arlo acknowledges John's restraint, but doesn't mince words, proclaiming disdain for those who forget their place. A warning hangs in the air. Next time won't be as forgiving. Arlo exits, leaving John in contemplation, questioning his own actions. As the infirmary door closes, Arlo's phone buzzes. A message reveals Isen tailing him. Down the corridor, Isen mulls over Arlo's unexpected act, connecting dots. Their paths collide as Arlo steps into view. Aisin feigns ignorance, Arlo's voice shattering the illusion. The reason for Aisin's persistence in spying on John is laid bare. Arlo isn't oblivious to Aisin's hunt for a story. A deal unfolds, 2 weeks to gather intel, a promise of the front page. In his sanctum, Aisin delves into the depths of research. An unexpected visitor, Blake, lauds Aisin's achievement. A quick glimpse reveals John's image. Blake's words cut. John's obsession seems futile, suggesting Aisin's attention shift. Remy becomes the topic, and a plan to uplift her spirits takes root. Aisin dives back into the quest, unearthing an alarming truth: John's expulsion for rampant violence. Shock courses through Aisin's veins. A classroom conquered in chaos. Arlo gazes from the rooftop, an observer of their lives. The door creaks, revealing John. A conversation beckons, an apology lingering on John's tongue. Permission sought and granted, they sit. Time's essence is invoked, urging John to hurry. Gratitude surfaces, mingled with remorse for the uncontrolled punch. A gesture made in a haze of confusion. John values Arlo's help in a way that's not often seen. Arlo's response? It wasn't about becoming buddies. He stepped in because 4-on-1 wasn't his idea of fair play. If they faced John individually, it'd be a different story. John, ever self-aware, questions this, seeing himself as a perpetual underdog due to his cripple status. He darts off, but Arlo's not buying it. He knows John's stronger than he lets on, even if John hides it. In another corner of the school, Aisin ponders John's expulsion. Rumors paint one picture, but the truth is more about the school losing control. Aisin keeps this bombshell from Arlo to avert potential chaos. Yet, fate twists, and Arlo corners Aisin, curious about his radio silence. Aisin hesitates. Arlo pushes, and a web of secrecy unravels. Meanwhile, John roams halls, lost in thoughts of Arlo's words. A collision repeats, but this time papers scatter. Arlo offers help, tossing John his binder, a practical and subtle gesture. Bonding over clumsiness, they trade a few words, revealing more parallels than expected. Later, at Wababoba, John shows his caring side, insisting on treating Arlo to a drink despite their differences. A quirky mix-up with the waitress adds humor to their interaction. Amid sips of mango tea and coffee, they delve into personal stories and Sarah's name surfaces. Arlo leaves abruptly, but not before a surprise offer, leaving John intrigued. Shift to Sarah, who grapples with rejection and her father's expectations. Over in the weekend, Aisin and Blake's cinematic adventure with Remy takes an amusing twist, with a romantic movie choice causing amusement. Pen shopping shenanigans blend with playful ball tossing, leading to a movie date. A tear-jerking scene unfolds on the screen, prompting an unexpected cascade of emotions from the group. Post-movie, they venture into the mall. Amid the bustling crowd, Blake spots the familiar ability gauge stall and curiously examines the prize details. Remy, intrigued, joins in the exploration, ultimately deciding to take a shot at the game. With determination, Aisin persuades a slightly hesitant Remy towards the counter, where she's presented as the game's next contender. The counter attendant holds Remy's hand, awarding her a score of 5, and with a flourish, hands over her well-earned prize. As Remy unwraps the gift, her eyes widen with recognition. The same chip she's encountered before. The attendant's astonishment is palpable, mirroring their own. Doubts lingering, Blake and Aisin demand an explanation from the bewildered attendant. Though his words hint at surprise, Aisin's keen observation reveals a different story through his racing pulse. Without hesitation, they beckon him to accompany them, but a dramatic twist unfurls as the counter-attendant releases a smoke bomb and bolts. Amidst the haze, the trio springs into action, pursuing the fleeing attendant. As they dash through the mall, confusion erupts. A security guard assumes the worst, mistaking their movements for chaos. The call for backup resonates through the corridors, further complicating their predicament. In the parking area, Aisin points out a lone bike, an opportunity beckoning. Remy takes the lead, with Blake offering steadfast support. A surge of electric energy heralds Remy's attack, successfully incapacitating the bike's riders. Yet, an unexpected foe emerges as a security officer intervenes. In a flash, Remy succumbs to her electric state and collapses. As the dust settles, Remy notices the bike's riders have vanished. The security officer seizes the opportunity, capturing her and guiding her to the security room. Within, Aisin and Blake are already detained, their situation dire. Determined to resolve the misunderstanding, they appeal to their affiliation with Wellston School, urging the guard to scrutinize the security footage. The guard's attention shifts, and Remy, Aisin, and Blake engage in a heart-to-heart conversation. Remy reflects on the power dynamics, pondering what if formidable individuals like Arlo or Sarah took a stand. Aisin raises the alarm about the potential danger of unchecked authority, emphasizing the implications of letting those with immense power roam freely. Remy boldly challenges the illusion of freedom, pointing out that Sarah and Arlo's perceived autonomy is overshadowed by their obsessions. She uses Sarah as an example of relentless perfectionism and Arlo's unceasing commitment to order. Their responsibilities have ensnared them, leaving no room to question authority. Ison adds a twist, explaining that a cryptic group eliminates those opposing authorities, cementing their dominance. He unveils his Ember article, a move prompted by Remy's desire for schoolmates to grasp the authority-Ember connection. The security guard's arrival breaks the tense discussion, granting them clearance after a probing inspection. In Sarah's home, the maid floods her room with books, echoing her father's edict for prompt completion. The specter of disappointing her parents lingers. Tired of the pressure, Sarah defiantly tosses aside the books. Reflecting on John's resilience despite his limitations, she questions her own perseverance. The next day, as the maid inquires about homework, Sarah confesses her reluctance. Frustration drives her to confront her mother directly, challenging the suffocating environment. Unyielding, Sarah's mother scolds her, unaware that Layla fled due to the same oppressive atmosphere. Tensions flare, resulting in a surprising moment where Sarah thwarts her mother's attempt to slap her. In the face of her mother's shock, Sarah's agility is showcased, hinting at a hidden side of her. The encounter leads Sarah to decide on a daring move to return to Wellston. Faced with the possibility of both her daughters fleeing, her mother is left with a critical choice to make. Sarah steps out, a triumphant grin lighting up her face as she revels in her accomplishment. The following day, Blake and Ison huddle around the front page of the newspaper, excitement bubbling in the air. An article catches their eye, a tale of their recent exploits. Ison's expression falters. His own story didn't make the front page. Blake nudges him, offering a reassuring grin. "Hey, we're still making waves," he says. Their moment is interrupted by a summons to the office. The headmaster's stern gaze meets theirs, curiosity piqued by the article. Eagerly, they recount the mall escapade. Gratitude warms the headmaster's voice as he acknowledges their courage, but swiftly he lays down a cautionary note. Their powers, he emphasizes, mustn't be wielded recklessly beyond the school walls. Relieved yet alert, Blake and Ison ponder their newfound wisdom. Meanwhile, a whisper of paranoia touches Remy's thoughts, an unseen observer lurking in the shadows. High above, Arlo perches on the rooftop, contemplating the world below. The door creaks, and a familiar voice breaks through the silence. John stands there, a hint of nostalgia dancing in his eyes. Their exchange is casual, marked by an intriguing question about mango tea. Arlo's curt replies belie his curiosity. John's unyielding presence is a reminder that boundaries have blurred. Conversation shifts, memories resurface. John, bound for class, bids his unexpected companion farewell, but a lingering invitation hangs in the air, an offer of camaraderie beyond their differences. Time passes, and Arlo finds himself at the school gate as agreed. Despite his reservations about John's company, a train ride unfolds, destination unknown. John's ignorance of their path is met with Arlo's confident assurance, a puzzle soon to be solved. Meanwhile, Sarah's journey brings her to an airport, a fleeting connection attempted through her phone. Her thoughts drift to John, his absence palpable. In a surprising twist, Arlo leads John to the heart of Wellston's underground scene, a turf war zone. Disbelief colors John's expression as he protests his unpreparedness for such a confrontation. Arlo's steady voice reassures him. They're not here to brawl. Ventus and Moily emerge, a familiar and unsettling presence. Tensions escalate, old wounds resurface. John's past flashes before him, a trusted alliance crumbling. The clash is swift, leaving John vulnerable and bleeding, held captive by Mealy's dangerous grasp. Arlo watches, a mix of emotions in his eyes. Ventus seizes John's head, compelling him to bow before Arlo. With a sly grin, Arlo jogs John's memory about Ventus and Miley trashing his phone on his orders, a reminder of their allegiance. He taunts John, suggesting that his high social status and John's crippled state don't mesh. A sudden flashback hits John. Claire's deceitful invitation to the fields, a sharp betrayal. Back to the present, Arlo asserts his dominance, asserting John's vulnerability with no one to intervene. A spark ignites in John, anger fueling his recollection of seeking a fresh start, the undeserved suffering he's endured. He counters Arlo's mockery, revealing his fellow students as the true monsters, not him. Emotions flare, and John's frustration becomes his strength. In a breathtaking twist, he deploys his ability, sending them reeling. Ventus and Mealy, their disbelief apparent, watch as John defies their expectations. Unfazed, Arlo grins, having anticipated this revelation. John lunges at Arlo, yet Mealy blocks his advance. A forceful shove sends her sprawling, then Ventus intervenes, conjuring a storm to hurl John away. However, John commands the tempest to ascend, Taking flight, the duo teams up, but John manipulates their joint power against them, defeating them. His focus shifts to Arlo, who confronts John head-on. Arlo's arrogance diminishes as John's newfound abilities challenge his expectations. Arlo fends off John's initial onslaught, deriding his tactics as ineffective, but John elevates the battle, using wind to soar and strike. Arlo braces himself, aware of his impending barrier's usage. A single chance presents itself. Arlo activates the barrier, but John perseveres, cracking it amidst the pain. A counterattack sends Arlo crashing, temporarily weakening him. The fight escalates, John replicating Arlo's powers, confounding him. Arlo's disbelief mounts as John's own barrier shatters his limitations. Vulnerable but determined, Arlo succumbs to John's fierce assault, crashing within the confines of a barrier. Every strike from John is a declaration of power. The culmination arrives, Arlo defeated, momentarily crushed by John's overwhelming force. Elaine arrives, swift and concerned, tending to her wounded peers. Arlo's injuries prompt her concern, yet he waves her off, prioritizing Melee and Ventus. John's departure leaves him enraged, betrayed by both Claire and Arlo, doubting the worth of trust. His bag hits the ground, a resounding thud alerting Sarah. Her voice draws his attention, and Sarah retrieves his fallen bag, a silent gesture of support. She flashes a warm smile at John, who quickly plops himself onto the ground. With a determined stride, she rushes to his side, concern etched across her face. In a hushed tone, she probes for the details of the incident, her eyes fixed on his. John replays the entire episode in his mind, his thoughts racing. He urges Sarah to avert her gaze, admitting he feels utterly pathetic. Sarah extends her helping hand, assisting him to his feet, and guides him indoors. The weight of curiosity lingers as she inquires about what transpired during her absence. Sinking into the couch, John recounts his experiences, his voice soft and vulnerable. Sarah swiftly dials Elaine, who answers the call with surprise at the mention of her name. A request for assistance is met with an affirmative promise from Elaine. As the call concludes, Sarah quizzes Arlo on his ability to manage in her absence. A subtle touch of emotion plays across Arlo's face as he grasps her arm, reminding her of a vow she made. Sarah procures a glass of cold water, brushing it against John's neck, a gentle reminder of his injury. Their unspoken connection lingers as they share the silence. Soon, Elaine arrives, her breath slightly ragged, offering apologies for the delay. Sarah welcomes her in, and apologies are exchanged, including one for reporting to the principal. Sarah reassures Elaine that all is well. Elaine's gaze falls upon John, surprise coloring her expression. A simple question hangs in the air, and John responds matter-of-factly that this is his home. Elaine's reluctant healing begins, a sense of weariness emanating from her. John senses it, recognizing the traces of her previous efforts on someone else. The room holds its breath as Elaine motions for his other arm. John hesitates, asserting his intent to visit the infirmary tomorrow. Undeterred, Elaine persists, her touch unlocking the puzzle of his injuries. John's instinctual reaction is to hush her, a momentary veil of secrecy falling over the scene. Emerging from the room, Sarah's gaze scans the emptiness, noting Elaine's absence. John offers a concise explanation, signaling that something urgent had arisen, leading Elaine to depart. Morning sunlight filters into the school corridor where Arlo walks, contemplation etched upon his features. Meanwhile, a subtle figure lurks, observing Arlo from the shadows. Within the infirmary, Darren and Keen share a light-hearted moment over snacks. Keen teases about apples and doctors, leading Darren to inquire about Keen's habitual office presence. Keen reveals his ongoing investigation, the puzzle pieces still eluding him. The school stands as a bastion of hope amid the current crisis, shrouded in secrecy as dictated by Vaughn, the headmaster. Keen's curiosity shifts to Darren's new flame, but the connection is still in its early stages. Just as they delve into the topic, Arlo slides into the conversation, his face bearing an unspoken story. A direct question about his injuries is met with resistance. Arlo's focused on a discreet patch-up job. The assailant's identity remains shrouded as Arlo clings to his sense of control. A healing potion is offered and accepted, Arlo vanishing into the distance with gratitude. Left in his wake, Darren and Keen ponder the enigma that is Arlo. Suspicions arise with Keen murmuring the name John. However, the weight of Darren's role as a supposed cripple tempers the accusation. Meanwhile, Blyke and Ison engage in a discourse about the latest lecture, but their attention veers off course as whispers of Arlo's infirmary visit reach their ears, rendering Ison stunned. In a different arena, Remy dials up Cecile, determined to unmask the hidden author. A game of verbal chess ensues, with Cecile steadfastly guarding the secret identity. Remy, asserting her queenly status, clashes with Cecile's defiance. The tension escalates when Cecile calls Remy out for her ties to Ison and Blyke, and even invokes the memory of Ray, igniting a blazing rage within Remy. The room becomes a battlefield of words until Remy, worn down, exits, her hope seemingly fading. Arlo strolls down the corridor. A ping from Remy lights up his phone. A meetup request. Ison, on John watch duty, spots a pair bullying John. Defiant, John fires back, stoking their anger. Before fists can fly, Ison swoops in, sending the bullies fleeing. All he has to do is keep John cool until Sarah's return. The park rendezvous with Remy paints a picture. Late, Arlo quips, and Remy pleads time's elusiveness. Mall incident gossip surfaces. Arlo nudges caution on school rep, but Remy's focused on bigger. A chase on mall day. Q questions about the rumored Arlo. Ridiculous, he dismisses. Though now doubts dance about his own shadow, Remy spills the mall beans. Anonymous penman? Arlo pegs Cecile. High tiers as targets? Bingo. Remy's shockwaves meet Arlo's truth. He's been trailed too. Injury rumors. Confirmed. Tears follow. Arlo pacifies. A resolve forged. His mission, unmask the shadow. An airport landing. John's dad, address in hand. Arlo, part of the school shuffle, tunes out banter. John's familiar collision jars Arlo, but he rolls on. Then a peer pulls John. Tension soars. Arlo intervenes, a fleeting touch masking his disdain. John, to Arlo, a disappointment, wasting potential, tainting Sierra. Ison watches, overwhelmed. Sierra sits, expectant. John's door creaks open, but Dad steps in. Handshakes seal their meeting. Sierra and William chat until John, shock etched on his face, bursts in. Dad's concern unveiled. Calls unanswered. John had a sly frown as he pulled his dad aside, craving a private moment with his father. Outside the house, under the open sky, William's voice carried his annoyance, his unanswered calls a testament to their disconnect. The truth spilled out as John revealed he was living with a girl. A candid explanation followed. Sarah's circumstances had left her with no other choice. John dug deeper, inquiring about his dad's chat with Sarah. The question of power, unasked for so long, finally found its voice. Annoyance flared, demanding Sierra's response. Relief swept through John as her lack of seriousness unfurled. The atmosphere lightened, and John's shady act was laid bare. The role of a cripple, a deliberate charade to counteract the whispers of Boston's past. A lifestyle chosen, a comfort in the shadows. The ticking clock loomed, but the time for disclosure felt distant. William challenged this evasion, pushing for the inevitable unveiling. Yet, John's conviction held strong. The present wasn't the place for such revelations. Nighttime cast a peaceful spell, but it didn't last. William, roused from slumber, dismissed the sight of his son buried in books. Cards took precedence, a game calling them to the table. Sierra's admiration for William as a father took root. Together they huddled around the table, the air thick with anticipation. Poker's rules danced in Sarah's mind, the quest for the perfect hand driving each bet. Chips shifted as confidence swelled, the stakes higher than ever. Sarah, armed with a pair that held promise, made her move. John's smile and bold raise caught her off guard. A puzzle she struggled to decipher. As the bets escalated, William joined the fray. Tension snaked its way into Sarah's heart, her nerves betraying her. Folding felt like the only escape. Cards revealed. Victory crowned William. The truth surfaced. John's bluff had been an open secret to his father. Sarah couldn't help but marvel at their cunning, her suspicions outwitted by their masterful ploy. She was on the verge of victory, holding the strongest hand. A glimmer of triumph teased her, but it slipped away. William's encouragement wove a spark of hope into Sarah's heart. "You'll pick this up quickly," he assured her, sharing a poker wisdom that extended beyond the cards. "Your demeanor and how others see you are pivotal." Confidence reigned supreme. As the cards continued to shuffle, a twist of fate favored John, granting him the win. The night's blanket soon wrapped them, lulling them to sleep. Amidst the quiet, Sierra's mind danced around the lesson from William. His words echoed, unraveling the enigma of John's resolute attitude, a poker player's strategy spilling into reality. That's it for today. Keep your eyes peeled for our next recap and make sure to like and subscribe for more recaps like this.